To Good Vibes Solutions. My name is Aleakwe. My special guest today is EWEMADE OROBATOR.
Good morning.
Welcome. He is chairman of Our Heritage TV, and he's going to tell us more about his platform. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
How are you?
And welcome, viewers. Thank you for taking time to be with us this morning.
Please tell us about the Our Heritage TV platform.
The Our Heritage TV platform is an attempt for myself to give an online digital archive of the contribution of Black and Asian people to this country since 1900 to the present day. I mean, you may be well aware that of the fuss about the Windrush generation, what's happened, and all the calamity around that. So, but just imagine if your history is also being forgotten about your contribution to the country, not to talk about your status. So we have tried to create a platform that allows people online to access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, an online archive about the history of what we've achieved in this country since 1900. For example, in the field of contributions over the First and Second World War, contributions in civics challenges, contributions in sports, science, enterprise. We've got 2,000 heroes on there, for example, that you can look into. Look at an active timeline that shows what's happened in certain days of the year. For instance, May 27th, what happened in that day in our history? Well, actually, nothing we can find. So one of the things we'd like you to do is to try and fill up that gaps to see, did anything happen in the Black and Asian community on May the 27th between 1900 to the present day? We found lots of things in other days, but if you look at our timeline, you will see over 1,000 entries of our contribution. So the platform is your platform to record your history and the contribution we made in Britain since 1900.
Those are really essential purposes and
yes.
objectives,
yes.
and as you say, really much needed
yes.
now. And so, what can people find when they come to ourheritagetv.com?
Yes, for instance, what I didn't say, and I do apologise, 24 hours 7, there will be programmes on our heritage contribution from all the way from sports to politics to arts, on Black and Asian contribution. So immediately you go onto the channel, you will see scheduled programming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll also find a Hall of Fame, which we've highlighted 2,000 contributors who we believe made the most significant impact on this country from the Black and Asian community since 1900. You'll also find an opportunity for you to upload your contributions because you become a member for free, no data sharing, by the way. That allows you to be able to influence the story. You will find a place where you can find out what events are happening in our community. Again, you can upload your events so people can come to your events as well, all for free. Those are some examples you can find. But most exciting we're going to be doing, and we're telling you first, and we're going to show some of the design first. In time for Windrush 70, we're going to introduce a heritage app. So that'll be the first time it's ever been done in this country. 24 hours 7 access to you on your phone that allows you to share this story with your friends and also contribute to it. So before the end of this interview, you'll be seeing some of these designs first.
Fantastic. And those links will be shared below this video. Please connect, share, like and love. Go to ourheritagetv.com and check it out. So to bring it to a more, that sounds brilliant, and good luck with that launch. Tell us, for example, can you give us a couple of examples of achievements or highlights that you have on there? I've seen some brilliant shorts and films as well, and all kinds of interviews from African Caribbean, Africans and Southeast Asian communities and stuff. It's a wealth of content.
Thank you. One of the proudest achievements in the African community, for example, is the fact that all of Africa now is now independent. You know, they were under British, French or Spanish rule for many years. Well, what you may not be aware of, that it was London in England that was the birth of African nationalism. It created some of the great leaders, and one of the organisations that founded that was the WASU. And I called it the WASU because if you know about it, you'll know what those initials stand for. The point is, if you don't know about it, is why you need to find out what that organisation is. And that organisation was the West African Students' Union. It was founded in 1929 and became one of the most powerful organisations, not only in Britain, but across the world. As I said, it was the father of African nationalism. And when you go to the Hall of Fame and you put in West African, automatically it will come up. and you'll be able to read more about that organisation. But one of the ones we'd like to talk to you about is Aleakwe Solanke, who in 1932, as a Nigerian student studying in England, took the British government to court over discrimination and won. He was a remarkable solicitor, but he was a student at the time and had the confidence and the foresight to do that and started to change history. And you may not know anything about that.
What was the discrimination?
It was a discrimination over housing matter. He thought he was, and he represented himself, and he won, and it was very successful. But to think someone done that in 1932 is absolutely remarkable. It's unheard of. But also for the children, by the way, which I forgot to tell you, there's games as well that you can play, so that they can get involved from the age of 5 and also learn about our Heritage TV information and their own heritage as well. So we've also tried to do a platform where children get involved, and let's be honest, adults as well, because I used to play Pac-Man, and you can play Pac-Man and also learn about your history at the same time as well on our platform. So please look into that as well.
Are there any surprising features or content that?
Yes, we're going to be doing lots of facts and surprises in our next Heritage app. So, for instance, you've heard about the item on Cheddar George. I think you saw about that, didn't you? They came out that fact that the first inhabitants of Britain were actually black. And so that's one of the things that you'll be able to enjoy in our facts and surprises that you'll be able to see in the app. But also in the facts and surprises, you may have heard the talk about who was the first person to play for England. And I'm sure one or two of you may know is regarded as Viv Anderson. That is absolutely historically inaccurate. On our channel, we actually spell out who was indeed the first black person to play for England. And history is recording it wrong. I'll explain why it's recording it wrong. And if you look up the name, you will find out who it is. But to give you a clue, if you put in the name Paul Reaney, Reaney, you will find out who actually was the first full international to play for England. And part of the problem why history haven't recorded him correctly is because of the term hidden heritage. He was a mixed race footballer who hid his heritage and didn't regard himself as black. So that's one of the most surprising facts. It's been so surprising that history's forgotten him, but he was indeed the first black footballer. And some people say, well, he may not have been black. Well, that means Rio Ferdinand was not black. And he is regarded as a black footballer. So if you look at the two of them, you will see there's absolutely no difference between them, because one of them hid his heritage, history has forgotten him, and absolutely falsely recorded Viv Anderson as the first footballer to play for England. Absolutely incorrect. And we, as part of our platform, is to try and make sure we identify the real history in this country. But it's not only just about achievements, and you'll see all of the Mobile Award winners, etc., and all the record breaks we've done. It's also about the challenges we've faced, from the Notting Hill riots that happened, from the race riots that you may not have known about since 1919. 1919 were the first race riots in this country, when we were literally chased from our homes and thrown into the sea. Find out more about that. That happened in England, not in America. You can find out more about that. But you'll also find that, and when you see about the challenge I'm talking about, is that how many people died in police custody? How many people were attacked because of their skin? We try to record all of those so people are not forgotten. Like my friend Brian Douglas was a victim of police brutality. He's recorded on there, but all of the black and Asian community are recorded on the day it happened. We try to do it in a timeline to show you've not been forgotten. You did matter, and we also show that. So it's not just showing the great sides and the positive sides. It shows the challenges, the impact, the contributions, but also the darkest hours we face in our community.
I think it's very. Our Heritage TV is fundamental. Please go and check it out. Tell us about your experiences below. There's what's called more to come about this. But it's important talking about the darkest. It's also a spotlight and shining a light on the achievements and the good and bad. So heroes, flawed, sheroes, all of these things. It's wonderful, and it's so surprising, that buried history, but also so many achievements hidden in plain sight. So, you know, give thanks for you and your efforts and your team. So that leads on to, so that's about the channel, you have the archive,
yes.
you have the modern,
yes.
and so that is also an educational tool. And I just wanted for you to expand on that, what you wanted and your plans are for that educational outreach.
Absolutely, because we want it to be the default resource online for everybody who wants to know about Black and Asian heritage since 1900. And because otherwise, what are they teaching in our schools? Where are they getting their content from? Where are they getting their history? I'm sure, like you, you're fed up of Black History Month happening 1 day a week, 1 day a year. Disgrace. But only talk about slavery or one or two particular heroes, the same old themes, the same old platform or the same old method year after year after year. Our contribution is richer, it's deeper, and it's more profound. So we wanted to make sure at a click of a button, you can find out the full extent of that history and who our heroes were. And you can play games at the same time. You can watch great content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And talk about she-heroes, for instance. We all know about Marcus Garvey. But what about his contribution to his first wife? Amy. What do you know about her? Who was she? What did she achieve? Why is she so important? If you don't know, it shows why you need Our Heritage TV. And that's not a question of criticising anybody. It's the way we've been brought up to know someone else's history, and somebody making a conscious decision that our history is not equally as important. If we don't try to change it, what can we do? And that's why I'm so grateful for Good Vibes Solutions, as you can see, saying in the brackets that why. That why is the most important part. It's not what we're doing, it's your heritage. And we've designed a platform where you literally can contribute to the story. It's not a question of passive watching what we're saying. You can change it. You can add your heroes. You can add your stories. And in the archive, which we've got in the new platform, you can literally upload your community heroes and tell us about it. Somebody who may have made a contribution locally, your local park, your local school. We need to know about that person. You have a platform to upload to tell us about your community champion. And in the timeline feature, becoming a member, you can add to the timeline and make us more reliable about what's happening across our history from 1900 to the present day.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I can't emphasise what this is your heritage. If we are not telling our children what's happening, who is going to? Because remember, our parents was the first generation of the Windrush, as it's called. As you know, our platform goes on way before that period. But in terms of related to yourself, you're either the first generation, you're either the second, like myself. You know, your children will be the third, and then your grandchildren will be the fourth. What stories are they being told? This is their country. This is where their brain broke up. What are being brought up? What are they being told? Who are they? Where do they come from? And if we don't tell them, who is going to tell them? So this is your platform to try and make that story live, relevant, effective, and fun. Upload it, enjoy it, share it. All free, 24 hours a day. We're not going to take your stuff for marketing to try to sell and worry about what Facebook are doing. No. Totally free, totally your platform. Please use it.
I just wanted to actually add, what's called, Mr. OROBATOR has just reminded me. So I love this. So our people globally, it's such a thing. The importance of, I think, naturally we have oral traditions, and not everything is anchored down in paper. So because that whole thing of identity, how we are linked. So this is the reason why I have a excitement for Our Heritage TV. It's a digital time capsule and an oral tradition. It's been like oral history. So it's wonderful. Please get in touch. Even if it's a digital, easy access,
yes.
Ask for your grandparents' story, your elders, your guardians, even if they're back home, anywhere around the world. You know, Far East Asian, Southeast Asian, African, Caribbean, Africa, diaspora, get in touch. I'll put all the connections below. record our histories, know how we are linked, distant relatives. Get in touch. This is a brilliant project. We want to hear your stories. Please get in touch with EWEMADE, and he's going to have the last word and to share the details of the site and how you can connect.
Yes, and I promise you, on Good Vibes, exclusive content as they do all the time, we're going to show you the first public site of the design of our Heritage Act. So as I said, you can be able to get involved yourself. You can actually tell the stories on our Heritage Nuggets, as you can see.
We'll put all the details up for you properly. Great.
There'll be loads of facts and surprises on the app, you can see.
Perfect.
We talked about community champions. This will be your teacher, your local contribution. You made a difference. Tell us about that person. Upload the content. There's going to be votes that you can regularly take in part. Who was the best British footballer, for instance? Who would you say the best British black footballer was? What about the biggest and most impactful impact on our generation since 1900? What's been the biggest single impact? What would you say will be given a chance to vote? And as I said, there will be heroes from our Hall of Fame. And on this day in history, what happened? On a particular day, when you turn up on the 30th of September, for instance, there'll be what's happened on this day. And if there's a gap, we'll ask you to fill it in. And finally, we do want to hear about your stories. So we want to try and interview you, get involved with us, get in touch with us, and hear your story directly. But your hopes that's happened since you've been in this country, what your parents went through, what your children are going through, what are the biggest challenges? We want you to tell us directly. So if you get in touch with us, we will interview you